Okay, well, wasn't too long, then we came back to the map. And we have a couple more little mini stuff. This short episode is still locked, but this is unlocked. So, we'll start with this first. Young man at the tavern, being all mysterious. What you got for me? Oh, well, a spicy question. I've seen many kinds of heroines before, but my favorite... I find tragic heroines and comedic heroines to both be attractive. I should pick out a Juliet from one of the extras. An extra that is a Juliet just for me. Aw. I like that. A Juliet just for me. Something sweet about that. Alright, and Jed. I don't think I'd call it a hobby, but I often cook. I'm pretty good at cooking on the cheap. When it comes out nicely, I feel like I gain something from it. Stir-fried tree roots aren't something I'd cook for guests, though. It's something I feed the Overlord here, since he never works. I love that. Since he never works. I also forgot to check... Okay, that's still locked. Ah, but there is something in the west alley. Rabbit! This town.
Paw. I'm sad when I see everyone fighting.
Aw, poor Rabbit. What a sweetie. Okay, is this the same? Yeah, okay. So that's still locked. Oops. Sorry, I keep getting all confused with the buttons here, and we know that's locked. Okay. So... Okay, glad I checked this. Looks like we do have another episode with Ashen Hawk on this side, so we'll do that later too. Okay, but first things first, let's... Okay, button this, change this, and let's do Ashen Hawk. Oh, you found me. You must be quite the psychic to find a ghost like me so easily. I would say your abilities are strong. My favorite food? I am partial to wine. Speaking of which, I showed an interesting text to my cook, but it was not well received. I'll tell you another time if you're still interested. I know all about your mashed potatoes, sir. Okay, I think we'll do the new one first, wielding a sword, and then after that we'll do Encounter, which is the Ashen Hawk episode. Okay. Sorry, I gotta get my head on straight with these. So confusing. It was careless of me. I had completely forgotten. I returned to the tower because I forgot to bring some tools I needed for my work. I was glad the weather wasn't bad. If there had been a blizzard, it would have been the worst. I should return to town as soon as I can. There was someone I usually didn't see at the tower. I often saw Elric at the church, but he hadn't been here since the day I made him stay over. True. It made me think that there was something important going on. Elric? Oh. What's the matter? You never come here. After asking that, I realized that Rabbit wasn't with him. Did something happen to Rabbit? No, it's not that. Rabbit's with Lawrence today. With Lawrence? Really? You got a problem with that? No. I assumed there was an emergency. You're unusually cooperative today. Did you get food poisoning or something? I didn't! I feel stupid for coming all the way here to see you now. I'm going back. I'm kidding. Sorry. So what do you want? No, nothing. Not that it has to be you. I can come back another day.
He seemed reluctant to talk. It probably wasn't an emergency, but he definitely wanted something from me. But you came here for me today. Let's talk about it.
Well...
Elric pointed at my hip.
I want you to teach me how to fight with a sword.
I don't know, you strike me more of a gun guy, you know? I was surprised. Of all things, Elric wanted to learn sword fighting. Did you buy a dagger or something?
No, Lawrence wouldn't allow it.
There's no point in learning without a weapon.
I can use a wooden stick in its place. I just want to learn how to fight. When Rabbit was caught by that guy, you fought him off with your sword, didn't you? I want to be able to do that.
Well, even so. I could tell from his tone that he was serious, but I didn't want Elric to do anything that would put him in more danger. Maybe I should teach him how to avoid danger rather than how to fight. If Lawrence got word of this, he'd never agree to it. That was why he didn't allow Elric to have a dagger. Elric, as long as there's no need for it, you shouldn't carry a sword. I often walk through deserted areas, and I deal with hoodlums at work. That's why I need one.
You think I don't need one?
You live at the church, and Lawrence is your guardian. If you do anything dangerous, you'll make him worry.
But I hated how I couldn't protect Rabbit. It was so frustrating. I swore I'd protect Rabbit the next time it happened. That's why I need to become stronger.
Elric's fists were tight, as if he regretted what happened. Seeing how upset he was made me understand. That's why he left Rabbit with Lawrence. He didn't want Rabbit to see him training to protect her. That's quite the chivalrous spirit. All right. If you insist, I'll teach you a little. Aw, what a big smile. Elric's expression brightened up instantly. He looked so much like a child that it made me want to tease him. In exchange...
Exchange?
You will refer to me with respect from now on.
Fine. I mean, yes.
It's creepy when you act like this.
Stop it! I'm being serious here.
Sorry about that. I laughed while pulling out my short sword, still in its sheath. But since we're dealing with edged weapons, you have to do as I say.
Sure.
And I haven't learned anything new since I was a kid. If you're serious, you should study under a master. I can only give you pointers. Whoops. And press the right buttons.
I understand.
Wow. Elric is being humble. Here, hold this. You first have to get used to the weight.
Ugh. It's heavier than I thought.
I handed my sword to Elric and he drew it from the sheath. He then tried to swing it with a single arm. But his stance was unstable, and in the end he had to use both hands to wield it. You can't call that heavy. You'll need to train your arms for starters. Go and do some physical labor to gain strength.
Got it.
Now then, as for me... I broke off a long twig from a nearby tree and held it out in place of my sword. It's thin, so it may break easily, but it shouldn't be a problem.
Huh? Is that all you need?
We're not fighting for real, and you should worry about yourself. Your grip and stance are unstable. Plant both feet on the ground. You can hold the sword however you feel is comfortable for now. Just make sure you grip it tightly and don't send it flying away. Ooh. You have a unique sprite for fighting, eh? And you have a gun holster. Or is that a sword sheath? Maybe it is a sword sheath, but... Should I be concerned? Are we going to see you fighting at some point?
Plant my feet. Grip tightly.
He repeated what I said as he adjusted his footing over the snow. I'd rather this be over a harder surface, but I'd have to give that up for now.
Like this?
Put your arms closer to your sides. Make sure you keep your center of gravity on your back leg as you take a step forward.
Center of gravity?
Unless you do that, the weight of the sword will swing you and not the other way around. Use your whole body instead of just your arms.
Ha!
Extend your elbows at the end of the swing. All right, one more time.
Ha! Ha!
He actually looked the part, although I could see that he was already sweating at the brow. Let's try this out. I'll attack you with this twig, so try to deflect it with the sword.
What? Already? How am I supposed to deflect it?
Play it by ear. Block the opponent's sword with your sheath. Here goes!
Huh? Huh?
I swung the twig upward to hit Elric's shoulder. I tried to do it as slowly as possible, but he couldn't react in time. One more time, okay?
Okay.
This time I make a wider movement as I aimed for his head. Just turning the sword to the side would be able to block that strike. But Elric just panicked and couldn't even lift the sword up. Ow. In the end, he got hit on the head with the twig.
Like this? Like this?
You're too slow on taking a stance, but your form isn't bad. He was starting to feel dejected, so I quickly suggested a different training method. Let's do the opposite. Elric, try to hit me with the sword however you can. You can thrust, slash, or even throw it at me. Just try to hit me.
Isn't that kind of dangerous?
It's fine. Come on, don't be shy.
All right.
She's braver than I am. Elric regained his motivation and started swinging at me the same way Ashen Hawk got out of bed. In other words, extremely slowly. Damn, all the shots taken at Ashen Hawk. He thrust and completely missed his mark. His foot was caught in the snow, and the sword didn't even graze me. You're a fast runner, so I know you can be athletic. Are you nervous?
Shut up! I'm just not used to the sword.
Aw, he doesn't want to hurt you. I did understand. I tried to remember how I was when I first wielded a sword, but nothing came to mind. Is it that far in the past that you don't remember, or have you taken over someone's body? It's so far in the past that I don't remember. If I was better at this, maybe I could teach you properly.
Don't start hesitating now. I said you were fine, so just teach me.
I see. So you want to learn from me?
I wouldn't go that far.
Oh? Elric was getting to be short of breath even after that little exchange. His legs were starting to become unstable, and the tip of the sword he was holding was shaky. Seemed like this should be it for today. Let's take a break. I'm sure your hands are starting to get sore.
I'm fine.
I can tell you're faking it. Come on, sit down. Let me see your palms. We sat down on the stone steps for a little break. I had Elric take off his gloves so I could see his palms. His skin was scraped off here and there. I couldn't help but sigh with a bit of regret. We should have started with a lighter sword. Sorry I didn't think about that.
You don't need to apologize. I asked for this.
I know, but...
I was surprised at how terrible I was. Using a sword is harder than it looks. I need to gain some strength first. I should go and practice with sticks or something.
You're really serious about wanting to protect Rabbit.
I wouldn't say that as a joke. Rabbit is my family.
I repeated the word. Family. Elric looked out to the piling snow and nodded. Aw. There's our calloused boy.
I don't remember where I was before I came to this town. My oldest memory is when I first met Rabbit. I was surrounded by a blizzard and the fog. No matter where I went, there was nothing but trees. I thought I would get lost in the forest. And then I fell into the snow. My hands and legs had lost all feeling, and I couldn't stop shaking. My vision was going white, and I thought I was done for. Then my right hand started to get warmer. My shaking stopped. I wondered why, and I saw Rabbit there.
Elric stared at his right hand with a gentle expression.
I looked up, and Rabbit came to my side, sticking close to me to warm me up.
Rabbit must be very kind.
I know. I knew for a fact she was trying to save me. While I was chatting with Rabbit, a man who passed by took me to town. That's Lawrence.
So he saved your life?
I guess so. Since then, I lived at the church. But from that moment, Rabbit became a precious family member to me.
Rabbit's always saving this boy. Elric was usually never this talkative, but his story about his past felt so real that I almost felt like I was freezing myself. If I was saved in that same situation, I'd want to protect her with my life too. The other thing I noticed was how much he cared for Rabbit. They were always together, but I didn't know they were that close. That's why you're so close, like brother and sister. Yeah, just like that.
Well, I guess so.
I watched him smile shyly. His smile was cute and fitting of his age. It made my heart feel warmer. I thought he was a cheeky brat, but now I felt more inclined to help him. You can ask for help aside from the sword, too. I patted him on the head and he smacked my hand away, blushing as if he just realized something.
Huh? I don't need your help there. I can take care of myself.
Although he was just being bashful, he was still the cheeky Elric I knew. Alright, and let's do encounter before I forget anything else. I returned back to the tower in between jobs. There was still some time until the next one, and I wanted to prepare some necessities. I had been so busy recently, I didn't know how to deal with extra time like this. Being a handyman that was paid by the day, this was something I should be grateful for. I did the household chores and then made food for Ashen and myself. That sort of daily life had become the norm for me. When I have too much time, I think of stupid things. It's been a while, but I thought about when I first started this life. Way back when.
Are you really going?
Yeah. Thank you for everything. A few days after my 12th birthday, I left the manor. This was to keep the secret that only Francisca and I knew.
I'm sorry. If only I had more power, I could have protected you better.
You've done plenty for me. I can live on my own from now on. Ever since I was an infant, Francisca cared for me. She gave me so much love and treated as one of her own. I had nothing but gratitude toward her, but that was exactly why I couldn't cause her any trouble. Please don't look so sad. It's not like we're going to be separated forever. We both live in the same town.
Will you come back if you have any trouble?
Yes.
There's no need to restrain yourself, you hear?
I know. Well, I'll be going now, Francisca. I opened the door at the entrance that I'd seen for years and walked out. Francisca saw me off until I couldn't see her anymore through the snow. Am I still not there yet? I walked through the forest and my resolve was already wavering. I walked and walked, but I still couldn't see the tower. My memory was hazy, but it felt closer when I went there as a child. Was it that far away? How much time had passed? Did I get lost? The scenery looked identical no matter how far I went. My feet kept getting caught in the deep snow. The worry in my heart grew. And finally... there it is. The trees that I thought would continue endlessly were cleared. Where it all began. In front of me was a tall, chalk-white tower. I didn't know who built this in the forest and why. No one knew of this place. The tower that had been forgotten by all. I'll be living here starting today. Feelings of hope were absent from my heart. I feel like I was being crushed by worry. Would I really be able to live here? Would I be able to earn my own livelihood? I wanted to go back to where Francisca, Levon, and Levi were. I wanted to go back to the house where we lived. I shook my head to clear it of negative thoughts. It was all right. This was nothing. I took big strides toward the tower and placed my hand on the door. For some strange reason, it felt like there was someone inside. There was someone living in the tower. This wasn't good. Then I couldn't live there. But that worry soon vanished. That couldn't be true. There was no one living here. Not even a single ray of light came from the window of the tower. This was absurd. Absurd, but just in case. Good evening! Is someone there? I called from behind the door. There was no answer. There was no sound either, but I decided to make sure. Is no one here? Then I'm coming in! I really am! I waited a few seconds. Still, nothing. What was I doing? My cheeks felt hotter out of embarrassment. It should be fine. I put my hand on the door and pushed.
Who might you be?
Ah! I heard a voice. I saw someone. A man with a hazy outline from inside the tower. Oh! This was what it meant to be petrified with fear. I jumped backwards and fell onto the snow, unable to move.
Oh, did I surprise you? Excuse me, for I am not used to dealing with people.
His fatuous voice immediately brought a sense of relief to me. I might have gotten surprised, but this man wasn't dangerous. He had messy hair and messy clothes. He looked shady, but there was nothing scary about him at all. Who are you?
My name is Ashen. I'm what people call a ghost.
Great. Now he sounded suspicious, too. Do you live here?
The term living is rather suspect in accuracy, but I exist in this tower. In that sense, you can say I'm the tower overlord.
I didn't know what he was saying, but it seemed to be true that he was here before me. I didn't have anywhere else to go but here. I didn't have any backup plans. What should I do? Achoo! I had broken a sweat from all that walking, and now it was making me cold. What should I do?
There's no point in standing out here. Come inside for now. My adorable little lady.
Huh? He knew right from the beginning. It feels so strange, even when I think of it now.
What is?
I mumbled out loud, apparently. This man always appeared when he wasn't needed. That's how you know he's a wizard. I was thinking of when I first met you.
Ah, that fateful snowy day. I held a warm, helping hand to you as you were near freezing. As thanks, you swore eternal allegiance to me, and...
Don't make up things. Never mind that. How did you know I was a woman just at first glance?
It was simple. There aren't too many mysteries in this world.
Stop stalling and tell me.
Someone as cute as you were could never be the same sex as me. Don't you think so?
I never expected a serious answer, but I guess this helped pass the time.
Oh? Going out?
Yeah, I have work. I needed to feed the lazy overlord here.
Diligence is a virtue. You should certainly work while you are still young.
I didn't wait for Ashen to finish before I closed the door and left.
I also found that mysterious. Back then, I thought you looked like someone I knew. Now then, who would that be?
Well, we know who that is now. Alright, and I'm actually going to remember to change my outfit and go and do the other episode on this side. Preferred dress. Maybe we'll even get a CG here. I'm pretty sure there's at least one or two more. Anyway, alright. Good job, brain. We did it. We remembered to do a thing. Let's go. That's weird. I turned my head to the side while looking through the shelf. I thought I put it in here. I repeated that over and over again as I searched throughout the tower. I didn't put it there. I thought I kept things organized, but I couldn't find what I was looking for. It's an item from a client, so I need to find it. I was looking in the shelves when I heard a voice from behind me.
Looking for something dressed like that?
Huh? I put my hand to my head, wondering if my wig was crooked, then turned around to see Ashen staring at me. I realized what he meant and checked the hem of my skirt. While I was fumbling around, looking all over the tower, I had unknowingly rolled my skirt up to my knees to move more easily. This is why I hate skirts!
You may say that, but you've been wearing that quite often recently. If I were a man of wealth, I would gift you a dress or two.
If you had the money to give me a dress, I'd rather you put some money into the food budget.
Man does not live on bread alone.
Meaning you don't want dinner?
I did not say that. Well then, shall I help you search?
It's an item from a client. It's about this big. While saying that, I felt something as I turned around. It was the feeling of my clothes getting caught on something, accompanied by the sound of cloth tearing. Ah!
My. You are quite the lady.
Shut up! I'm not used to wearing it, so I just got it caught on something. The skirt was torn at the hem. It was snagged by a nail on the shelf and tore all the way to my knee. Ugh, what a waste of a good skirt. I think I can sew it back together, though. Luckily, the tear was a clean one. If I sewed it up, there shouldn't be an issue. Where are the needles and thread?
Are you going to fix it yourself?
Of course, I can do it on my own.
That part of you is extremely feminine, if nothing else.
I shushed him while getting ready to fix the dress. It would be a pain to take it off just to fix it, so I pulled the hem up toward me to start sewing. But halfway through it, I looked up. What are you looking at, Ashen? Ashen sat on a chair observing me.
There is something on my mind.
He stopped there, so I continued working in silence.
You're not going to ask what I'm thinking?
It's probably something stupid that doesn't need to be asked about.
I see. So you won't ask. I was thinking of an outfit that would suit you well.
Huh? I was confused at what he said, so I looked up. Then I finally understood.
Bearing those pale legs of yours that you don't see often is quite nice, but covering up has a conservative charm to it. A white outfit to accentuate your purity would be good, but wearing vivid colors would be nice as well. Either way, you'll have to learn some female mannerisms first. You'll need to not roll up your skirt when others are watching.
That's none of your business! I shifted my position so Ashen couldn't see my legs. It's true that it was careless of me to roll up my skirt in front of someone. The thought of that made my face hotter. I've never lived like a girl, so I can't help it! I made excuses in my mind as I sewed up the skirt. A little while later, I heard a voice behind me again.
Why not just cut off the hem and make the skirt shorter? That would help you move around more easily.
What are you talking about? It'll show too much leg. And it's cold, too.
The women of the world all say that they need to endure many things in order to be beautiful.
Why do I need you to lecture me on the words of other women? As I said that, I remembered T. T's skirt was short, and I used to wonder if she was cold. But I had to admit that she looked cute.
You would never do things like that unless someone told you. That's why I'm saying this.
Had it not been for the tavern employee, I wouldn't have dressed this way to begin with. In that sense, I couldn't deny what he said. But why do I have to make the skirt shorter?
Let's try something. Stand up for me for a second.
Stand up? I finished sewing, so I cut the thread and knotted it. After that, I stood up as requested.
Next, hold up your hem to make it shorter. Go on, try it out.
Why would I?
It's fine. Just do it up to your knees like earlier.
Like this? I pulled up my skirt to my knees. It was embarrassing to show my legs since I never bared them. I fidgeted.
You closed your legs naturally, and it caused your posture to change, didn't it?
Now that you mention it, standing the way I usually did felt wrong, so I had put my heels together.
When you dress in a feminine way, your mind accommodates that femininity too. Being conscious of your appearance has that effect.
Ugh, I can't believe it. I think you're right.
I always say things that are sensible, don't I?
There are times when you say seemingly sensible things just to completely gloss over what matters. I looked down at my legs under the skirt. My heels were together, but I still felt cold. This skirt length isn't practical. I can't imagine walking out in the snowy woods like this.
Then you have no choice but to try and change from the inside.
I never wanted to act more feminine.
For example, there is a proper way to curtsy. Or is that too hard to do all of a sudden?
Don't insult me. Even I can do a feminine curtsy. I'd seen it done around town time and time again. It should be easy to copy. I plucked each side of my skirt with my fingertips, dropped my stance a little, then bowed. I looked up at Ashen smugly, but he only squinted his eyes.
That's fine and everything, but let's make a slight change. Think about greeting someone close to you. Don't drop too much, move one leg slightly outward, and look up at that person.
Look up? He had lots of directions, but I did each and every one of them. I looked up at Ashen with a confused face, and he shook his head.
The most basic thing in a greeting is a smile. Smile for me, Jed.
Now I had to do that. I cleared my throat and smiled at Ashen while looking up at him. Ahem.
Yes, very cute.
I felt like he was toying with me. I dropped the hem of my skirt and started patting down my outfit. I don't care if I look cute or anything. I prefer to be who I usually am.
But while you spoke to people in that outfit, I'm sure there were some things you noticed, like how men are weak to a woman's smile. Feminine gestures and smiles. That's more than enough to ensnare us. I feel it's a rather sad state of affairs.
That might only apply to Ashen but I did know what he meant. Being congenial was important in my line of work. Dealing with people with a smile made everyone feel better and more talkative. Well, I do understand what you mean.
Then let's practice being flirtatious. I'm positive you have much to learn.
Flirtatious? I'd never heard that word before. Ashen Hawk showed me by example. Here we go. Like so. Extend your hand like so.
For example, there's a gesture of putting your hand to your chin. Simply twisting your hips a little would make you look much more feminine.
I really don't want to see you twist your hips.
I'm showing you by example here, so you'll do it for me, won't you?
Like this? I turned my body sideways and Ashen Hawk heaved a sigh.
You just look like a mannequin turned on its side. I told you to twist your hips. Twisting your hips, or turning your head to the side, are among the actions that express the softness of woman and her feminine qualities.
How does he know all that? Still wondering why I tried to reevaluate that posture. I told myself to twist my body softly.
I knew you could do it. You look like a lady now.
Really? It didn't feel half bad to be told that.
All that's left is... The act of turning around is quite different between a man and a woman, too.
I didn't quite understand what he meant, so I turned my back to him first and turned around toward him. Like this?
That's a masculine way of turning around. A woman would first turn her upper torso around, then follow through one leg at a time.
That's really difficult!
Then let's do it this way. Assume there's a butterfly flying in front of your eyes. The butterfly will fly behind your head, so slowly follow it with your eyes as you turn around.
I've never seen a butterfly before.
It's all about your imagination, Jed.
Like this? I slowly turned around the way he taught me and felt like my movements were much softer.
I can't give you passing marks yet, but you're almost there. You've gone from a tomboy to a girl.
I can't tell the difference.
If you can bring out some more sex appeal, it would be fitting. Like putting more attention to your... chest.
Why did you go quiet all of a sudden?
Excuse me. You are still in the middle of growing that area.
Yes, excuse you! Compared to Francisca or the tavern employee, I might have been lacking in that department, but now I felt competitive about it. Maybe if I positioned myself to bring attention to my endowments? And then I came to my senses. Wait, why do I even have to do this? Is this really worth all the embarrassment?
Oh? In my eyes, you seem to like it.
That's not true.
I'll leave it at that. If you make yourself too attractive, I'll be worried sick. Be wary so that you won't attract the attention of the wrong crowd.
I know. Anyway, I need to go look for something. Where's my notebook? I talked to Ashen Hawk for so long, I just remembered my original purpose.
Notebook?
Yes, a notebook. It belongs to a client. It's old and weathered, and he gave it to me a while ago.
A notebook.
We had been together for so long, I knew what he meant when he acted that way. You know something, don't you?
I might not. It just could be the same thing I'm imagining.
Just tell me where. I responded forcefully, and Ashen Hawk took out a battered notebook from his shelf. Yes, that's it! Why would it be put away there? I took it from him as I asked, then noticed that the cover of the handbook was darker than I remembered. Is this... wine?
I couldn't remove the stain, and it wouldn't be right to simply throw it away, so I kept it here until I could do something about it.
You just forgot about it, didn't you? I don't believe you!
I do feel sorry.
If you weren't, I would send you to bed every night without dinner. I'll have to apologize for this. Though he'll probably forgive me because he gave it to me. I held the stained notebook and turned the doorknob to head out to town.
Be careful when you go. Oh, and I really am sorry, so please prepare dinner tonight, too.
He said that with a smile as if nothing happened. You're not sorry, are you? Such an irresponsible master.